Chewing on the edge of my next job.
Yeah, I think if so. Hello, by the way. Talking about Viper's therapy here. If Mushishi
Hello,
has
Viper.
those abilities, they probably don't. They're probably not available during like a session. It's probably downtime if it's there at all. Um, okay, so mission number 7 for the Cerberus. Those dubious hounds of the law and not. Last time we had a fairly action-packed sequence of events. We visited the Maxim security prison Isotropa Max Secure to retrieve a lieutenant of the 51st Legion, and in doing so, also encountered what's called the Raider fleet, or Draxler's Raiders, who had come by to destroy said incarceration facility, and that was a bad time for all involved. And we made it out and successfully completed the job. The lieutenant was retrieved, and much joy was had throughout the lands. So, sometime later, because we have lain low to reduce some of the heat that we've accrued, and we've repaired the Cerberus, we've practiced some of our gifts, and we are picking up our next contract, which you are going to get the brief for. So, we know that you've been doing some pro bono work to lay low, get some goodwill on your side, and that sort of thing. And your fixer, Jezri, is forwarding you a brief of an official, legit bounty, which comes with a series of decoding protocols, which means that this bounty isn't in wide circulation. For some reason, it's restricted access, and it becomes apparent because they flat out state why. They don't want the target to be aware of this, that there is a bounty on them. Okay, so you've picked up a legitimate bounty for a highly respected surgeon called Odorin Orahas. I'll put the picture up in roll 20.
Have I heard of him?
Here we go. The picture should be up for y'all. Yep. You have indeed. Orahas works as an instructor at the Procyon System Hegemonic Medical University, which is where Mushishi is studied, and Odarin was indeed one of your teachers back in the days before you dropped out. So House Malclaith, which is the governor's noble house, the sector governor, they are the representatives of the hegemony, and they have set this bounty on Dr. Odorin to they've set the restricted access on this bounty to keep her from being aware that there's a bounty on her at all. Presumably, she doesn't know, and presumably very few other people do as well. The Hegemonic Medical University have discovered multiple instances of mismatching operation room logs regarding organs donated by patients. And when the medical university looked into patients being treated by Orahas, they discovered that 17 of them had disappeared and never turned up for post-operation checkups. And the current theory is that House Malclaith is working on is that Orahas has harvested organs from at least these patients that they know of, sold them on the black market, and then disposed of the bodies, which she would have plenty of opportunities to do because all the medical facilities would make that quite easy, especially if she can and apparently has faked some of the logs.
Does that sound like the sort of thing she might do?
No. That sounds, unless this is a case of um, a very like well-adjusted person who is just rotten at the core and very good at covering it up. But it
But
doesn't sound like the
not the
person you
sort of
met.
thing that I would have guessed of her
No,
doing. I
no.
mean, there were a couple of maths teachers at my secondary school that I could believe were doing that. A
Yeah.
couple of the gym teachers as well, for that matter.
Ooh.
But but the science teachers, I can't really see any of them doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing she's not got that vibe.
Yeah, no, she is not, um she doesn't have the kind of personality trait that immediately would have, like, when you read this brief, you would have gone to like, oh yeah, because of this. Yeah, I could see her doing that. No,
Well,
there's none of that.
you know what they say, Mushishi, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing mankind that he did not exist.
However, obviously, this is of personal interest to me. I would at least like to be the one to bring her in, if possible.
You also get in the brief names.
Preferably without the guns, Zenith. I mean, you know, bring it with you by all means, but I'd prefer not to go and murder my old biology teacher.
Wow,
Cheers.
all I'm saying is they don't call me heavy load for nothing.
We don't call you heavy load at all.
That one guy did.
One time at maximum prison camp. Yeah, so in the brief, you have a list of names of these patients, like the 17 that they've picked up, just because it's useful info for you. Like, if you ever come across these names, you will be able to cross-reference the ones that they know have disappeared. And yeah, if because you're free to pick up the bounty. If you want to, we can move on to the actual execution here.
Well,
yeah, let's do it.
I think Mushishi's keen to bring in her old tutor, so I think we should go along to assist.
Right. So we have the and we move on to there's the cut to black and then slow pan onto a different planet with the big white text that says Nightfall, which you know to be a planet in the sector, which is pretty much the let me get my notes here. So it is the economic and cultural center of the system, this one planet, and it has plenty of tourism as well. Interesting bits for Nightfall. It has 13 moons, which have, because it's 13 fairly large celestial objects, right? So the sky is fairly busy on Nightfall, to the point where it's quite erratic when there's actually like daylight going on. So it has this weird pattern that they actually need to use like high-tech computers to predict of actual day-night cycles because of all the eclipses and whatnot that occur because of all these moons. And they've adapted to that. Like, everything's built for that as well, with like, okay, so we know that in 30 minutes it's going to be like, it's high noon now, but in 30 minutes it's going to be dark because there's yet another moon coming up. So they have these like live switches for pretty much everything. So when there's an eclipse, the night lights go up, and when the eclipse passes, they go down again, and it's day again. It's a fairly weird light cycle to exist in. Yeah, there's numerous like shifting periods of darkness on the planet, and there's also a large Legion space station in orbit, yet another celestial object to worry about. The biggest and well, the only starport really of note is in the Yaw city. I'll put that in chat. Is YAW, and we're cutting right to it. So you tracked Orahas to nightfall. And because apparently she doesn't appear to be a fugitive as such. So you have a fairly good, you've kind of secure in your knowledge that she probably doesn't know about the bounty, because she's not gone into hiding. She's not laying low, as they say, at all. She's continuing as usual. So she's on nightfall. This is where she owns one of her properties. She is very well-to-do, a wealthy individual, and because it's not a secret at all. It's in fact, you've seen advertisements for this on the local networks. She's hosting a fundraiser at her luxurious quarters, spanning most of the penthouse floor of one of the most expensive hab towers that exists in Yaw City. So it's this big spire.
To a party, boy.
Yep. It's a big spire where rich people live, and the higher you are, the richer you are. And she's holding a fundraiser to gather funds to donate to the arts, because this is one of the places where a lot of the art gets funded, I guess, and produced in the sector. All right, so I believe our first thing on the list is picking a plan. So the plan options for us are assault, which is we do violence; deception, we lure, trick, or manipulate; infiltration, we trespass unseen; skulk for viper, that's skulk; mystic, we engage the mystic way or power; social, we negotiate, bargain, or persuade; and then transport, we carry cargo or people through danger. Any suggestions for a plan?
It's your show, Mishishi. How do you think we should do this?
Well, I would start by spuffing some of my stash on some tickets to that fundraiser for the three of us. And then I'm thinking it'd be a social approach, although I've got no real skills to back it up.
We do have the alternative, Mishishi, if you want to save yourself a few creds. That, like, when we get to the door, I can just be like, you have seen our invitations, they were fine.
No, because I want to donate something into her charity in order to help us ingratiate ourselves to her and get her to come in willingly.
As you wish.
Okay.
Or at least explain herself civilly before we shoot her.
Very well.
That checks out. I think if you want to buy your way, I would, because it's a rich people event, right? I would say it's like a cred per ticket.
6 stash, right?
Yeah, 6 stash. If you
it's fine. I'll just pay a cred for my own ticket, so you don't have to take out your stash. It's fine.
So 4 stash, Mushishi. Swiping that credit card. So
stash is like from the bank, right?
Yeah, stash is your savings account.
I'm assuming, that there would be some sort of a paper trail that whoever's watching those tickets would see.
If you wanted to, you could go to a bank as well and just like take. I'll take it on a stick, and then you have the stick. But
I'm wanting her to see that one of her old students is coming to this party and that they've doled out the money straight from a bank account. Doesn't matter how much is in that bank account. It looks like I've spuffed quite a lot of money, and I'm keeping the 4 cred that I've got in hand. Again, because we're going to a rich people party and we'll probably need it.
Yeah, that sounds great. That's a good plan. So are we going for a social plan here?
Sounds that way, doesn't it?
Right. Okay. And I think you've just explained the detail, which is the social connection. So you're buying tickets, you're making a point of like subtly informing her that it's me. Remember one of your students? So you're directly working this plan through her, which is great. Like, that's a good idea. So yeah, let's talk about Mr. Heavyload is absent.
May not be a bad thing.
Yeah, quickly.
Let's make a plan.
Just, Viper, come on, punch it. We need to go.
Let's get out of here.
So what sort of load are we looking at? As we remember, light load, just you in whatever clothes you want. Medium load, you look like
I'm
you're...
recommending light load at the moment.
Yeah, light load is the safe bet for like a charity, like cocktail event. And if you walk in with a heavy load, you look like you're the fucking Mandalorian. You have your ropes, you have your 10-foot poles, you have your battle axes.
Yeah, we've got to be careful. We don't. There'll be a lot of innocent people at this event, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
So those heavy blasters are looking tasty, but maybe I shouldn't do that.
You could fit that in with a light load, right? Because it's 2, right? The heavy blaster. You get 3, was it? Light load?
3.
Yeah.
But we
so
tend
you
to
could have it like disassembled, and then you dig into your
We tend
boots
to
and
take
then...
communicators as like as a standard, don't we, with this team?
It's been a staple.
So
That is true. Oh, we have Sith Lord Zenith up in here. So Zenith, we're talking about load.
But the question is, when we go to this like event, are we all going just as guests? Or
Yes.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Okay.
We are there as patrons of the arts until such time as I give you the nod.
Okay, so I
If
can't go
I
there
give
as a
you the
maintenance
nod,
man with a large
we are there
toolbox.
to arrest the host of the party.
Okay. Right.
Very nice, darling.
Yeah, then light load seems applicable.
Yep.
I'll switch it to
And
light.
remember, things in italics, they don't count for load. So whatever is in italics, you're good to go.
Is that the stuff at the top?
Let me look at yours.
Yeah. I don't really show that well on my sheet. What is?
So I'll read them out to you. So fine small Erbot, though that will raise other questions. Victory cigars.
Right.
Illicit drugs. That's it for you. You can have as many drugs as you want.
Illicit drugs too.
So what I'll do, I'll
So
just
do
tick
I.
them now. I'll tick them so I know that they're there.
In fact, if both of us can get hold of illicit drugs and we're going to a rich people party, that may not be a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not taking them, not even trying to make money off them, but again, they're useful.
Yeah, there's bound to be like a space punch bowl somewhere. Yeah.
I do have a question.
Yep.
So if I want some like slick threads for this event, is that going to cost me creds in this case or a roll?
I think it probably will. You don't have it on your sheet by default, so you would have to go out and get it.
I don't have money because I just spend it all on paying people off. Oh.
So yeah.
Can I blow another one of my stash on getting some threads for these two?
Yeah, for sure.
It's part of the mission. It's you know, it's...
and you get to keep it. Oh, we're going to space now? We have a space wizard. The production value of this stream is incredible. Yeah. All right, so we're all in, and this is the place where you can get the good stuff, right? Because this is the culture and like economic center of the sector. So you have haute couture, a lot of it. So you're probably buying like mid-range, sort of last season.
I'm looking for smart and classic.
Yep. Yeah,
It-
timeless.
something that'll last them a few missions if it survives this one, you know.
Yeah.
But something that no one's going to cry about if it ends up with a couple of like blaster burns on the cuffs. Also, yeah, classic like smooth cuts, because I do want them to be able to get at their weapons if they need to and all that shit, you know.
All right, so Viper Zenith, you're all dolled up for
Creds, yeah.
night in Richtown. So is everyone going with a light load?
Yeah, I'm going with light load.
And for Zenith as well, I don't remember when you came back. The items in italics, they don't count against load, so you could have those if you wanted to, without weighing down with the load.
That's cool. So this light load malarkey, is there any like flexibility on that, or how much is light load? 3.
3.
Yeah, I suppose it still gets me a fine melee weapon and a blaster pistol. So
Yeah, and what more could you want at a party?
I might just I'll just take the fine melee weapon and a detonator. That'll do me.
Yeah, the detonator that's a party trick everyone loves.
That's it.
Are we all taking a communicator like last time?
I'm afraid I no longer have room. My detonator is taking up all the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
The communicator, please, Zenith. We won't need any detonators at the rich people party.
Very well. In which case, I shall take a fine melee weapon and a communicator.
That's fine by me.
Yeah, I'm taking my katana and my cell phone.
I've got to have something I can channel the way through. So
Yeah.
Could I have like a little tux on my small robot? I can bring him like as my accountant or something.
That's going to be very interesting. So, did we talk about your Urbot before? I don't think we've used it at all.
You used it, I think, on the ship once.
Yeah. So, is it like an R2D2 unit?
Kinda, yeah.
I think you should call your droid UB40. It runs on red wine.
That was a shit joke, John, but damn it came in.
So that was your 2 gambits gone.
Yeah.
The universe is against you.
Worth it.
Yeah, can you learn jokes like that? Not with the Jedi.
Well, it says small, but I don't like how it's small compared to the ship.
So small, as in R2D2 versus C3PO.
Okay.
Think like that. Yep.
So I can't have Johnny number 5, but I could have like Wally or something like that.
Yeah, you could have like a small robot, which, because it's an Urbot, that means it actually has like a personality. Like it's an AI.
Have you seen Batteries Not Included yet? I know it's a bit of an old movie.
I don't think so.
So it's like the small circular robots that can sort of fly. That's kind of what it is.
They're like little
small,
discs.
Yeah, like a small saucer. That's
Like
kind of
little camera droids, basically.
It's got like little arms, like a crab.
We call them servo skulls in here.
In this millennium.
Yeah, so you have like a anti-grav little thing flying around. Okay, yeah, that's easier to pass off in the rich people party than like, this is my space taxi driver.
Yeah, dress it up a little bit.
Yep, good. So you have that. You can definitely, and you don't need to determine the italics things beforehand either. Like you can just have them for free if you need them at some point.
See, I'm thinking I might be all right because I get like an outdated religious outfit for free. I'm gonna like stroll in wearing that because I'm gonna be like avant-garde.
Retro.
That's right.
Especially since, thanks to my
Less
recent
is more.
experience expenditures, I've now got 2 dots in sway.
Less is more. Oh, I think I've got 2 dots in swear.
Let's sway it up. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna be like, oh,
Yeah.
everything that's old is new again. Embrace the retro. It is your destiny.
Now, I do have fine clothing. I also have recognisable medic garb. Could I suggest that I have some sort of badge or pin or insignia on my suit that indicates
medical?
that I'm medical?
Oh, like the twin serpents dealio.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have the
That's good because in recognizable medical
Yeah.
garb, I'm welcome
Oh,
anywhere.
you want to just be wearing like the T-shirt of like your old alma mater, like where you were taught by.
yeah,
Whatever.
the like hegemonic med-U,
Yeah,
the
that's it.
class
Yeah,
of Barbadadada.
that's it. Sigma fraternity.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, and we didn't really establish like what the symbol is, but you can have like an armband thing to put on top of whatever you're having for the like. Everyone can tell that. Oh, you're not supposed to shoot this person because they're basically like a hegemonic asset, which is kind of fucked up. But that's how it do.
Yep.
Okay, so you
Nice.
can definitely waltz in with that. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good to go. We have our finest new wear, or like Zenith, you have access to because Mushishi went and bought this like fashionable stuff. Are you using the fashionable stuff, or are you going in with the this is an outfit for a more civilized time?
See, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to mix and match a little bit. So I'll have like some of the finery on, but then I'll like accent it with the old religious garb. So let's say a mixture of the old and new.
Right.
You know, bringing the old up to date.
So is it like you have like a really nice 3-piece suit, and then like on top you have this like open front
Yeah, like open sort
Jedi
of-
robe?
Yeah, basically, yeah. With like the big hood and everything and the long like flowing sleeves, but like obviously I'll have it open and underneath I've got this like fine suit on. Probably got like a nice like sort of fine belt like tied around it and whatever.
I probably would have made a point of investing in decent shoes for all three of us when I was buying that stuff as well, so that they shoes that look okay, but they've got to be practical.
Yeah.
Fair.
So it's not strictly combat boots, but it's not like no one's wearing like 6-inch
If
heels.
it is combat boots, then they're very nice combat boots, and they're brand new.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna make a burning wheel joke about shoes, but I think only John would get it. So,
Fucking, I am not got enough creds for that bullshit.
so we're going to go into rolling the engagement roll here. So, is this operation particularly bold or daring? I think for the first time, maybe it's not that clear.
I wouldn't say so. We're just like polling up to like the do.
Yeah.
It's not bowl or down. We've just paid for tickets and we're going to a show.
Yeah,
Basically.
I guess in that way, like you have all the like you're doing everything that like a normal person would, instead of like flying your ship in the wall and then like gunning everyone down. Is this operation overly complex or contingent on manufacturers? Not really. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? I don't know that that's true either. Is the target strongest against this approach? Yep.
It's certainly finding them in a place where they're going to be sort of slightly socially vulnerable, at least. I don't know that we'd be able to find her anywhere
That's a good point.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And then
more easily.
is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses or special preparations? That is kind of tied to, like, if we say that this is a particular time where we can nab her because we know where she is, she's going to be surrounded by people as well. Rich people.
This is where our bounty hunter license comes in.
Yep.
But hopefully it won't come to that.
Yep. And then, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Can any of your friends or contacts provide you aid or insight for this operation? Do we have anyone that's kind of rich and a socialite, maybe?
Not unfortunately for my
I think
side.
everyone's like a criminal that we know of.
What about the, what's her face? The woman that we kidnapped instead of murdering? She's kind of social type, isn't she?
Well, the archaeologist.
No.
So we're talking
Magistrate,
about
or was she
the
the
magistrate.
magistrate's?
No, the
Yeah,
magistrate
whatever.
herself. Yeah. I think she's kind of not a part of this.
Yeah,
thing.
unlikely to be involved in this
Yeah.
circle, is she? Yeah.
Yeah, that might be like we're punching above our social circles here a little bit. Are any enemies or rivals interfering with the operation? No. Any other elements? Maybe a lower tier target? No. Higher tier target? No. I think we're rolling a straight one. Because the thing that like is in your favor is the vulnerability. However, it comes with the exact is that a 5? Yeah, just one roll. Yeah, one dice. Yeah. I don't.
We didn't see it.
Yeah.
It's a 6.
I love the fact
We
you tilted
are-
your camera down and we just saw the very edge of the dice.
Yeah. Almost. So you're returning to form.
Nice.
Back with the controlled plans. So what that means is you're in a controlled position when you enter the party. When you're handing your invitations, we're going to start there. You like show your credentials to get in, and we're going to roll how they receive you is the first thing, because they might be like, nah, we're going to scan you and is this a fucking weapon? And that might be a bad thing.
Nope.
But we'll see about that. So we're in this hab tower, penthouse level. You just stepped off the elevator, and there's the sort of like hallway entrance where you have some security folks waving you over, like welcome. Let's check your credentials, and we'll do a quick security check. So they're gonna try and see if they should refuse you access. So the first role is going to be convincing these security goons that you're fine to go in as it is. Now, what I'm implying here is if you fail here, they will lock out some of your options, or if you like catastrophically fail, they might be like, nah, not in those shoes, like you need to go.
Your name's not down, you're not coming in.
Yep. So,
But our name is down. We bought the tickets.
Yeah.
We're on the list.
Yeah, like check the list again. Like I should be on it. Like Luke Hunter, the Cerberus. Or if it's not there, then crazy motherfucker.
That's right.
So who's talking to the goons?
I feel like this is.
I see this being me in my like smart clothes with my medical badge, and these two flanking me like they're my goons.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
trying to
security.
look inconspicuous.
Just
Okay.
stand behind me, keep your mouth shut, and we'll see how far we get. And Zenith, if required, you may be asked to deal with this gentleman for me.
Zenith hasn't been the same since he went to prison.
By which I mean mind trick, not murder. Okay? We all clear on the plan?
Just give me the nod if it's required.
Yeah. 1 nod, mind trick, 2 nod, murder.
I tell you what, if I shout fight, that's the time to get your guns out.
I'm not carrying any guns.
All right, then it's the time to get out your generic
Mind is my weapon.
space age laser sword.
You mean my fine melee weapon that has been enforced with the way? I understand.
Yeah, that'll be the one.
Yeah, the guard looks at you like,
So yeah, we'll walk up to these guards. I'll give them my name, which isn't Mushishi, but would be the name that they would recognize. Am I on the list?
Yeah, let's see. What are you rolling?
this way.
Damn it, I'm a doctor, not an art critic. Ooh, it's a 4.
4. Okay. Let me refer to my thing here. Oh, there we go. So this is controlled. So with a 4, you hesitate, withdraw, and try a different approach, or else do it with a minor consequence. So your option is either roll for something else, or you do the thing, but there's a minor consequence.
Let's do the thing with the consequence.
Right, so you get by, they scan you, everything's fine, they pat you down, they check your tickets, everything's good, you're on the list, they welcome you to the party, and I'm going to start a clock here. Not that big either. Here we go. We'll use this one. So this one is going to be called I'm going to call it attention. And we're going to take it.
I'm guessing we are drawing quite a few eyes over here.
Yeah. So we're taking it by 1 as the minor consequence. And you can resist this, of course, if you want to. You can roll for, it's probably insight, if you want to resist that.
Is there any reason to not resist?
If you don't want more stress, because you could roll real bad, and it could be really expensive in terms of stress.
Ooh, that's right. It costs me stress, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty stressed out already. I may end up being traumatized by this mission. But I don't actually have a trauma yet, and I feel that I'm kind of losing out on the XP as a result. So let's try and resist some stress. Resist some consequences. So I'm rolling my insight.
Yeah.
And it's the number of triangles filled in before.
Yeah.
So 5.
5. So it costs you 1 stress. So cool. Yeah, they don't take too much note. I'm going to leave the attention clock there because it's probably going to come in use at a later time. So yeah, you make it to the party. So it is, as I described, it's most of the penthouse floor, which this doctor occupies. It's a really nice place to live. All the amenities are there. There's bedrooms like everywhere. A lot of sort of art gallery type areas as well. Sort of like large dining room type areas, which is just like for hanging paintings and stuff, sculptures. And there is sort of outdoors courtyard thing built into the middle of this, which is open to the sky. And then there's a couple of really big like balcony areas that just like lean out from the actual hab tower itself. And it's fairly buzzing with folks, rich people, donors. There's some media folks there as well. So what do? You have full access. You're legit. You have all the rights in the world to be here. You're acting normal. You're free to do whatever normal people do in these parties. What do you do?
Take a stroll around looking for Professor Orahas.
Yep.
I suggest, Mushishi, that we split up. We can cover more ground that way. We have the communicators.
Yeah, but can we trust you? Yeah, fair enough. In which case, yeah, we'll meet back under that statue of the naked xenomorph at whatever time in about 15 minutes.
Synchronized watches.
Start the countdown.
Very
Right,
well.
and Viper, there's a lot of rich dickheads here. Some of them may want to gamble. Don't take them up on anything you can't afford to pay off, please.
I suggest if any of us locate Surgeon Orahas that we immediately contact the others on the communicators.
I'm a little low on cred right now. I probably shouldn't, but
No,
it would help me.
I
It would
really
help
mean
me
it,
blend in.
Viper.
It would. You know, it would
Viper,
help.
I tell you what, I bet you that the 4 cred I've got in my pocket that you can last out the evening. Or that you can't last out the evening. I'll give you this 4 cred to go gambling with later. If you can make it through today without like causing us any more heat than we're gonna get from this mission.
You say this, but if Zeev helps me gamble through the way has many solutions, then I'm guaranteed to win. Surely.
I'm just
the
gonna
way
walk
leads
into
to
the crowd
success.
shaking my head and leave the 2 of them there, knowing that I thoroughly expect them to fuck this up.
Very well then, Viper. Let's gamble.
We must look like we belong here. And people who belong here spend money.
Embrace the gambling tables, Viper. It is your destiny.
It's destiny.
So, am I getting this right? That Zenith and Viper, you're gonna go look for the blackjack table, and Mushishi is gonna try and find the doctor.
That's right. You go look for the blackjack table in the art gallery.
To be
I
honest,
thoroughly approve this plan, boys.
to be honest, I'm not fussed about gambling. I'm just winding Viper up. If you need some money, I'll lend him some money. But I'm like, do you know what? I'm gonna get the mission done first, and then I'm gonna go and gamble the weekend away.
Your skills enough to help me pay 10 bills.
Indeed, because I've got bills I've got to pay. Yeah, so I'm just going to, as I said, I'm going to split up and I'm going to start searching around for Orahas as well. And I'll sort of be regularly like communicating with the others, you know, like, oh, I'm in this area, no sign yet, etc.
Yep. I think we can probably have one of you roll and the other can assist if you want to, for an extra die for 1 stress. Because you are talking to each other with the communicators.
Do you want to make the roll, Mishishi? I would offer to assist, but I don't want the stress.
Damn it, I'm a doctor, not a...
Not Dog the Bounty Hunter.
A 5.
A 3, I think that was.
It's a 5. 5's the top number.
Right. So we are, let's see. Yeah, I think we're still in controlled position. So it's the same thing. So you hesitate, either withdraw and try a different approach. So roll for something else, or else do it with a minor consequence.
Okay. So this means we're not finding her in the crowd, basically.
It means you have 2 options. Either you don't find her, but you can roll for something else right now to try and do that, or you could find her, but there's a minor consequence.
Let's take the minor consequence.
Which you can resist as well. So,
which I can resist as well, but that would definitely, well, almost certainly cause me stress, and then I'll definitely be traumatized.
Yep. Okay, so the minor consequence, which, well, it's gonna maybe sound not minor, but you're still in a good position, and everything's fine. Yeah, you spot her. So you see Orahas. She is drinking a fancy space teeny and
I love it.
talking with some of looking like very rich people, people with more money than sense, really, and probably donors. And she's having a good time with them, laughing, sipping her drink, and having looked at the brief, nearby, looking at some sculptures, is one of the patients on the list, the people who disappeared.
I thought this might be the case, that she might be squirreling them away to somewhere. So yeah, I'm going to tell Zenith and Viper via our communicators that I have spotted one of the patients that she's suspected of killing alive and well.
Yep. So I put the name in chat. So this woman
Yeah.
called Hile Adash is there, looking at some paintings.
Okay. Could I ask Zenith to keep half an eye on this lady? Doesn't need to approach her, just needs to keep half an eye on her so that we can talk to her later if needs be.
I'll chime in on my communicate
Confirmed.
hall
Yeah.
and be like, Shishi, if you want, I can use my little accountant Herbot here, these little tucks, to just track her around the room if you want.
I was actually wondering if the Urbot might be capable of a slightly more complex task.
Well, if it's in the mood, yes, maybe.
Well, now that you've walked around the room a few times with
It likes to skulk about.
It's had a chance to see the faces of a lot of the people in the crowd. Could you get it to cross-reference that against the potential victims list?
You could.
See if we've got any others of those people here.
You most definitely
shall.
could. Viper, give us a roll when you do that. Zenith, you were
While,
saying?
whilst Viper's doing that, I'll keep an eye on Helea Dash as
Yep.
requested.
And did I also spot Orahas?
Yeah, you see the doctor,
Yeah.
and then Hile is nearby.
Okay, I'm gonna sort of keep half an eye on her, you know, have a bit of a look at some of the sculptures around her and stuff, but make it clear that I'm hanging around to have a chat to her when she's ready for me.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
student waiting to talk to teacher.
Yep, sounds good. So Viper, give us a roll.
So is this information gathering, this particular type of role it would fall into?
But it could be.
Or could it be that they've almost been skulking about?
It's up to you to pick how shit of a situation you want for your role.
Oh right, okay.
Because if you're trying to cross-reference these with your Urbot, and you're using Scramble,
yeah,
it's gonna be a bad time.
yeah, okay.
But whichever you want to roll is entirely up to you.
Like doing computer stuff or like information gathering is not really Viper's forte. Do we have any gambits available?
We have 2 gambits, and I will say, because your Urbot is indeed fine, that's another die.
Okay, I will attempt study. If I may use a gambit that will allow me to roll study.
Yeah, we have
Okay.
2. So.
What position would this be? Are we in a control position because we're not under threat?
I think this thing isn't anymore in like straight up controlling, because what you're doing now is you're face scanning everyone in the party and doing a big thing.
Okay, risky
But yeah.
then I guess.
So we're going with risky and standard effect.
2 dice, 2
And
bonus
then-
dice. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
I really don't.
Do you want a devil's bargain?
Yeah. All right. What would the devil's bargain be? Lay it on me.
Someone's gonna notice you doing this.
Yeah, let's do that. I do
Okay.
love a bit of
Yeah. So
Yes,
I'm gonna put down 3 things on the attention clock there for
Okay.
someone noticing that you're actually like systematically scanning people.
I do believe shit's about to get real.
Oh, not great, but not the worst.
So 4 is
Damn it, Viper, you were supposed to be sneaky.
Yeah, the one time you want them to be
Stealth is like
sneaky.
your one good thing.
I am stealthy. It's my Airbot. That's going scanning.
yeah, it's just like, hey, excuse me, sir, could you look this way? And then they look and it's like bright flash, and like, thank you.
Can I confirm Retina will intercept?
Hey, could you please take those glasses off?
Just walking around the party with your robot. No. I look away for a second. Next minute, I look up, and you're there with the robot in your hand, like just walking up to people and shoving it in their face.
That's
So-
right. That's right. It was Zenith you had to worry about.
So 4 for risky is you do it, but there's a consequence. So the consequence here is going to be that your position will go from risky to desperate, because there's folks who are taking note of this. And if you slip up, it's going to be worse than before. But they're not any closer to seeing you slip up. But if you do slip up, they're going to be more intense. So how does that sound, Viper?
Yes.
Do you want to resist that consequence? Because
I'm gonna try.
you will succeed, but you will get stressed.
Oh, that's bad.
So every resistance roll is a success. It's just a matter of how much stress does it cost you.
Okay.
Which, like, Zenith has given 0 fucks about that, and we see the results in the red lighting that surrounds him.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and resist.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can roll. Ooh, I think probably insight or prowess. Both of those sound good for resistance.
Insight.
for
Okay,
this.
no bonus dice. Let's go. Huh! 3.
Okay, so it costs you 3 stress.
Oh well, that fills up my box.
Okay, so you are traumatized.
Yep, I am traumatized.
Yeah, feel free to pick your trauma.
Does that mean you've joined me in 3 trauma club?
Yep.
You have 3 as well?
Yep. I got shanked last session.
Yeah, last time was rough on you.
Come on, take vicious. Join me, Viper.
Taken paranoid.
Join me.
Taken paranoid.
Yeah, so you dodge the prying eyes of the powers that be, and you gain the knowledge that you sought. So you have a list of names now, which I will put in chat. So these 6 people are all a part of the 17 that were on your list of individuals that the hegemony knows that were Orahaz's patients that disappeared and never turned up again. And they're all here in the party.
So she's helped them disappear, or she's done something absolutely despicable with their bodies. Would seem to be the 2 options right now. I'm hoping it's the first one.
Just a quick
And
question.
I'm hoping we can have a nice, quiet word about it very, very soon.
Just a quick question. Obviously, I'm following. I'm keeping an eye on Helia Dash. Given my attunement to the way, can I sense anything like odd or unnatural about Helia Dash?
Give us a roll here.
I'm presuming is it risky? 'Cause
It's risky because Viper successfully resisted
Cool.
the desperation at a cost.
Boom, 6.
6? Yeah, you do it. You do the thing. So you reach out with your feelings, and Hele Adash is very apparent to you very quickly. She is indeed more machine than man now.
So I'm literally getting like, oh, you're like cybernetic out of the Waznu.
Yeah, you're like you reach out and you're like, oh, you are alive. However,
But at least I've gained a gambit determining that.
yeah.
So I'm going to sort of back off to like a quiet corner where I can use my communicator undisturbed, and I'm going to say it. Mashishi, this is Zenith. I can sense something deeply troubling about the patient Helia Dash. She has extensive mechanical modifications. Extensive modifications.
Thank you for letting me know about this. Right, give me a second.
You reckon she
So,
knows who we are?
Johannes, the
Hmm?
hegemony.
Yep.
You mentioned stuff about organ donation.
Yeah. There were
And
some
organs.
discrepancies in the
Yeah.
logs.
So, is it allowed to do person-to-person organ donation?
Yep.
Are there organ shortages?
Most definitely yes, because
Are there
people are in
artificial alternatives?
not a lot of the time, and only for like mega bucks. Like the actual like good shit. Like you could get like the fucking hand pump that you just do this for the rest of your life, but for like actual like replacement shit, the donations are really expensive.
Now, obviously, I've got to go and talk to her, but right now, I suspect that all of this is a scam to pay for medical treatment for people who can't otherwise get said medical treatment for whatever reason.
Quick question: how are the patients like reacting to the doctor? Like, are they like staying close to her?
Now that you know who these people are, because they've been picked out from the crowd, at least 3 of them sort of seem to hover around the general area of the doctor.
Almost like
they're loyal to her, protecting her. Like they could be her robot slaves, or they might just be people that are really fucking grateful to her. We need to talk to the doctor.
As you wish. I'll remain at a distance. Let me know if you require assistance.
Yeah.
All right. Are we going in for the doctor?
Yep. Let's
Yep. So you've been standing around being like conspicuous, like, hey, it's me. And eventually she does come and talk to you. So she comes over and like waves for like a staff member to come about, and there's like fresh space teenies, one for you and one for her.
I'm going to move a little bit closer, but I'm sort of just on the periphery. So if I do need to like get in there and like pull Mashishi out, I can do. But otherwise, I'm just going to like loiter in the background and just be chatting to people, general stuff, and wait for Mashishi to give me the nod.
Who was it that had put the bounty on her?
The hegemony,
right,
essentially.
Okay, yeah.
The government, by way of the governmental health university where you studied as well, and where she works still. Yeah, so you get the space teeny, and like there's the tink of the class, and she says, well, now I do believe I haven't seen you in how many years is it now?
Quite some time.
Did you transfer programs while I wasn't looking?
No, I work in a different field now.
Oh, really? What is it?
However, I would like to thank you on behalf of myself and my 2 guests here. Your teaching has saved all of our lives, at least a couple of times this year, and probably a dozen times before that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that whatever I managed to impart upon you has helped you in the field that you work in now, with the raising intonation at the end.
Yeah. A thing about that field I'm working in right now is...
Don't tell me, it's painting?
I wish. I'm a hunter. I track down criminals. And
she's just
I got this bounty today a very well-respected doctor who's suspected of murdering patients and selling their organs on the black market. And I didn't want anybody else to take that bounty.
I'm gonna roll for
How
her
about
reaction.
we go and
Yeah, I'm
sit
gonna.
somewhere and chat some more about that?
Yeah, as you say that, I'm gonna roll for her reaction. She's gonna roll a fortune roll. So 4 and above.
It's been established that I'm a bad liar. The
Yeah.
point in me lying about this, I still don't believe she's done it.
Yeah. Oh no, she's good. So she, you can see like you just walked up to her and be like, and she's like, the shit. You can see that like she like the color drains out of her face, and she like offers you her hand, like put like arm in arm, like we need to fucking go talk elsewhere. You're muted. Yeah.
You're muted, Hannah.
Sorry, I'll snap my fingers and assume that you two are going to like fall in step behind me as we start going, like to the side room.
Understood.
So it's gonna be like a kitchen alcove thing, and she goes there and just what her voice is like 1/4 of what it was in the other room, and
Yeah, I thought maybe that might be the thing.
she says very pointedly, but you can tell that she's not angry. She's kind of frightened. She's like, explain yourself.
Goddamn mute button. You were a good teacher. I have no reason to believe you've done this. In fact, there's evidence walking around in that room that you haven't, but I have to assume that you've helped these people disappear for a reason. I'm expected to take you in to go and answer to the hegemony. It's not impossible for you to say, meet a nasty accident where only a finger survived. But I kind of need to know what's going on before we make that call.
Give us a roll here. And Zenith Viper outside as they're talking in the kitchen. You can see, let's say it's the top 3 from the name list. So Hile, Ganyish, and Kazo. They've modified their 6, 4, 5. Yeah, good. So the top 3 from the name list, the former patients have approached a commensurate distance that they lost when they moved to the kitchen.
I'm going to very sort of quietly inform Mashishi about that using the communicator. I'll tell her obviously not to respond because it would give it away the fact we're communicating. But I'll say just to let you know, 3 of the modified patients have moved into closer quarters with where you and the doctor are currently.
Mm-hmm.
But both myself and Viper are ready.
Mm-hmm.
So you did it, and she
Explain yourself, damn it.
Justify yourself.
she reaches into, like, she turns around, goes for one of the cupboards, takes out what looks to be like a really expensive bottle of something really strong, off with the cork, and she just like shakes her head. You've clearly upset her very, very much. She is distraught, and she like takes a swig of it and puts it on the table, leans against the table, and she's sort of like talking to herself now, even though you're there to hear it now. But again, the lowered voice, she says, like, they told me they would take care of this. But I suppose it had to happen eventually. Now, she turns around and says, so how much do you know?
I know you've helped people disappear, because I know you wouldn't have been cutting them up and selling them in little pieces. I know that some of those people are in there, and I know that they have a lot of cybernetic enhancements.
You're
I
one
know that
quarter
they're
right.
also converging in on my friends there, and that one of my friends is a little trigger happy, and it might help to ask them to back off.
You need to get your friends out of here right now. You're one quarter right. I did cut up some people, and she takes another swig, presses the like expensive liquor bottle against you, like offers it to you. I didn't sell the bits. I put them through the system, put enough faults in it for them to disappear, and then I anonymously donated them to some of the charities that work on Warren with the financially disadvantaged. It's free replacements because they didn't need them anymore because I put in something else. And she, whether or not you've taken a swig of the bottle, she takes it back. Just like has a big one, and she says, "Those people outside, they're not patients. They didn't need anything cut out. It's the ashen knives. They I gamble. You probably didn't know. I gamble. So there came a time when I didn't have enough to pay the debts. So the syndicate had some people come over, and what do you do when they knock down your door? And the system police can't stop them because they're all in the syndicate's pocket. So basically, the police are making sure that.
You're telling me that those 6 people out there who are your reported patients are actually ashen knives?
They're all syndicate assassins that I put top range modifications and augmentations in, and your friends really need to you need to get out of here as well, because I don't want to. There's a lot of good people here.
Is there an exit on this side of the kitchen?
Sorry?
Is there an exit on this side of the kitchen?
I think it's because it's just a small like alcove. There's probably some cupboards and a freezer, and then maybe a small window to maybe outside. And then the door, obviously,
sound like
too.
A very safe exit. Okay. Yeah. Can they hear what we're saying?
Not for the moment. No. I don't think so.
Because my boys can. Do you know a good way out?
Well, of course I know this place, but I don't know how far we could make it if we wanted to. And I would be dead in any case. Like these aren't the only ones. Like the ones outside, there's more. So wherever I'm gonna go, if I don't do it because the syndicate asks me, I'm gonna be dead. And maybe some other good people too. Well, I don't know if I'm good people, but other good people might get caught. Like if you're your fellow hunters outside, if they start something outside, there's going to be good people on the ground.
So you're being held against your will by the ashen knives.
Well, they're not really holding me. I just they have work for me, and I can't refuse to do it. So, however you want to put that.
Okay.
And she is just like barely holding it together. Like she's hitting the bottle pretty hard with all this.
Right now, I think you need to get back to your soiree so that your friends out there can see that you are safe and sound.
Right. Okay.
You need to tell them about your student who was very upset and who you have counselled through whatever traumatic shite you want to make up. I'm going to go and speak to my friends, and we're going to do what we can to help you out of this.
Okay.
Because we're not fans of the Ashen Knives either.
Yeah, she takes another big gulp. Like, she's like smashed through like 3/4 of this bottle while you've been here, and you're looking at it go like, that's not going to be good. But she puts it back in the cupboard and goes to her pocket, takes out what looks like an EpiPen, and like smashes it to her neck. And just, okay. And she, like, the composure just like, and the color like returns to her face, and like blinks a few times and like slaps her.
Mushishi knows all about self-medication.
Yeah, you're both professionals at it. So like, she gives herself some nanite courage, and says, I don't know if the way put you here, but I hope that you won't be hurting because of my bad choices when all of this is done. And with those, like, she like squeezes your shoulder for a bit, and she says that you would have made a good doctor. And like goes.
Yeah, as I pointed out when she first like started speaking to me, if she'd not taught me, none of us would be alive right now. So any harm that comes to us in trying to help her out, as far as I'm concerned, is like fair play. Yeah. However, I think it's time we leave the party and go and consider what we're going to do here, because we weren't expecting a fuck ton of Ashen Knives in there. And we certainly weren't expecting a fuck ton of cyborg Ashen Knives.
Yeah. I think that's probably the ending for this particular session, where you come back from the kitchen. Sorry, Viper?
It'll be a lot less of them when we're done.
You start shooting them, sorry? You skulk and then you shoot everyone. You shoot the doctor. Yeah. So yeah, we caught on Mushishi like coming out of the kitchen after the doctor has gone out. The three, as we now know, the three Ashen Knives assassins sort of like disperse again a little bit because they can see her now, and she goes back to giving like her sort of bubbly like fundraising drive speeches to the guests, and you I suppose you fade out. Maybe you take, not to appear like too obvious, you maybe take some cocktail bites, have a couple of drinks, and then exit stage left.
Splendid.
Yeah, and then we caught on that, and we shall resume this adventure next time on The Voyage of the Cerberus.
Splendid. I shall stop the recording there then.